Hey, here we are again. Math Notes 2.2.4, conversion factors, metric prefixes, and common abbreviations. This Math Notes is going to be a lot of copying on your part. So you're either going to want to pause this video quite a bit and copy these conversion factors down, or go to your book and copy them down from there. But one way or another, they need to make it into your notebook so that they're around when you have the next test or quiz. So below are some commonly used conversion factors, metric prefixes, and abbreviations. Let's talk about these real fast. We've got 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. 1 foot equals 12 inches. 1 yard equals 3 feet. 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. 1 pound equals 16 ounces. It also equals 453.59 grams. 1 liter equals 1.06 quarts. So that's a handy one to keep in mind if you can remember that a liter is about a quart. It's a good everyday conversion. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. 1 minute equals 60 seconds. 1 day equals 24 hours. 1 year is 365 days. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. 1 quart is 4 cups. 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces. 1 fluid ounce is 2 tablespoons. And 1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. If you want to look at some even more antiquated unit conversions than we use here in the US, you guys should go to Wikipedia and look up the English unit system, which was in use prior to the 1850s or so, and has some even more exciting units that we don't use at all today. Let's go ahead and talk about how we would use this with a quick little problem. Let's say that we wanted to convert 4 gallons per minute. Say that we have water coming out of a hose pretty fast, 4 gallons a minute, and we want to convert that to liters per second. So when we're doing these conversion factors, what we're going to start off with is our first fraction. This is called the fence method, or it's called a variety of things. One of the things is called is the fence method. On the top left, we put our starting value, 4 gallons. Underneath that, we have 1 minute. So every 1 minute, 4 gallons is coming out. We want to convert gallons to liters. That's our goal. So I'm going to look at my chart here, and I'm going to figure out which things I need to use to go from gallons to liters. Well, right away I see 1 liter is 1.06 quarts. 4 quarts is 1 gallon. So those two are going to help me get from gallons to liters. I want gallons to cancel. I have a gallons on the top of the fraction bar. I need a gallons on the bottom of the fraction bar. So I'm going to use 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. I'm going to use this conversion factor right in here. I'm going to use this conversion factor in the next fraction. Now I want quarts to cancel. I have quarts on top and I want quarts on the bottom, so that quarts over quarts will cancel out. And I know that 1.06 quarts is equal to 1 liter. So that's my next conversion factor that I just used from that. And if I think about what's happening, gallons is now canceled, quarts is now canceled. If I stopped right here, my units would be liters per minute, but I want liters per second. So I need to convert the minutes into seconds. That's going to take another conversion factor. Let's do light blue here. We're going to use the minute to second conversion right here. of 1 minute equals 60 seconds. So right now I have minutes on the bottom, so I need a minute on the top so that those cancel out. So 1 minute, 60 seconds. Now that minute here will cancel with this minute here, and I'll be left with liters per second, which is what I want. I multiply across the top. 4 times 4 times 1 times 1 gives me 16 liters on top. On the bottom, 1 times 1 times 1.06 times 60 gives me 60 times 1.06, 63.6 seconds. Now I divide 16 by 63.6. And I get 0.25 liters per second coming out of that hose. All right, so it's actually, well, it is what it is. All right, so about 1/4 of a liter every second coming out. That's an example of what we can do with this. You'll see these a lot in science, and they show up in math from time to time as well. Down here on the bottom, you're going to want to go ahead and just pause the screen. Make sure that you're familiar with these unit abbreviations so that when you see them, you know what the heck is going on in the problem. I'll leave you with one more conversion factor before we go, or one more conversion problem. Let's stick to flow rates. Well, let's do velocity this time. Let's say that we want to convert somebody going 50 miles per hour to feet per second. All right, so how many feet per second is 50 miles per hour? Give that a shot, guys.